Hey guys, today I'm going to react to this video, Horror House and Other Filmmakers' Mansions. So I'm pretty interested to see what kind of mansions these filmmakers have, and also the horror house. It'll be kind of interesting to see what kind of stuff they have.
Lights, camera, buy real estate. These famous filmmakers have quite the knack for purchasing extremely expensive, lavish places to call
Wow,
home.
that's crazy.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, well, actually, it was only about 44 years ago.
I like how he's making fun of Star Wars.
And no, I'm pretty sure this happened somewhere in Hollywood. Anyway, George Lucas made a space movie that catapulted him to legendary status among nerds everywhere. And with all that nerd money came what would be a very famous ranch for the price of $100 million.
Wow.
Named after the most famous character
Crazy.
possibly ever created by Lucas, Skywalker Ranch was the home to George Lucas. George purchased the property little by little starting in 1978, 1 year after the release of his pop culture phenomenon. And originally it was known as Bulltail Ranch. Well, his name isn't Luke Bulltail, so that clearly had to be changed. Today the property is mainly used as a motion picture sound mixing and recording facility. It also houses the main offices of Lucasfilm. However, the ranch is so large that that's just a portion of the activities that happen on this expensive purchase. Along with the professional office space and the George Lucas Educational Foundation, one can also find a fully stocked barn, a fitness center, swimming pool, racquetball courts, a 300-seat theater called The Stag, and tons of underground parking that preserves the natural landscape. On the property, as well as a man-made body of water called Ewok Lake. Besides an extravagant gift shop,
Man, Ewok Lake. Does he just name everything off of Star Wars?
the ranch actually makes money as a functioning ranch that produces its own wine, olive oil, and beef.
Wow.
Additionally, the property has grown so large at 4,000.
I wonder if he actually sells like the wine. I wonder if there's like a name. It'd be fun if he used another Star Wars name.
700 acres, that it has its own fire department. While the ranch primarily serves as a housing for sound design and filmmaking, those who use it as such prefer to call it a filmmaker's retreat. Oh, I get it. That's why Steven Spielberg agreed to make a fourth Indiana Jones movie. It all makes sense now. Have you ever just been sitting around on a Saturday watching Pan's Labyrinth or that Best Picture winner with The Fish Man, and just sit and wonder where someone with this kind of imagination could possibly call home? Well, once you see inside Guillermo del Toro's place of residence, it will all start to come together. The master filmmaker owns a bleak house in Los Angeles, literally packed to the brim with various art pieces, sculptures, drawings, monsters, and so many things that appear to crawl straight out of a Del Toro film.
That's
or
crazy.
Maybe they crawled into the film
and cool.
from Del Toro's house. Del Toro offered a brief look inside the property, claiming to have shown off only 10% of the house's contents. He claims to have all these pieces in the house as it serves for artists to come in and create. Having the various imagery of all different styles surrounding them supposedly promotes and inspires creativity. Whatever it is, it must be working, as Del Toro's films are some of the most beautiful and imaginative ever made. In fact, the Bleak House works so well that Guillermo del Toro has recently begun
I mean, that's so cool. I mean, like, normal houses, I mean, you know, you kind of just walk past stuff, you don't really care, it doesn't, you know, it's not that big of a deal. But it's like every part of the house he's shown so far is just so interesting. I like wonder what that is, or like look at all these pictures, like, or like different stuff around. Like, it's so cool.
Expanding it. Recently, the famous filmmaker has purchased 3 new properties. The first was a Gothic Tudor house with a castle-like design in Santa Monica. He purchased this newest addition to house his art for $4.5 million. He also purchased 2 condos of unique design for just under $2.4 million in total. Both condos reside in LA, one in Midtown and one in West Hollywood. Del Toro likely ran out of room in his Bleak House, which holds 7,000 Blu-ray and DVD films, as well as 13 libraries stocked full of books, each dedicated to a different subject. A man who, self-admittedly, likes to stuff his own shelves will likely always need to
that's so cool. That's like the poster in Disneyland.
Buy more. The Bleak House and continued expansion of it is any horror film fan's dream. While Spielberg
it makes me wonder if he has some stuff from like the actual movies, or if they're all just, you know, props, but it's pretty cool.
Probably loves to vacation at Skywalker Ranch, his own place is certainly no dump. Director of such famous films as Indiana Jones, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Jurassic Park, and so many more, Steven Spielberg is one of the most well-known directors in the world. Beginning in the 1980s, he took a childlike spirit and creative approach to transforming a Palisades house in Los Angeles into a home for him and his family. He was drawn to the house because of who had previously lived there, which includes Douglas Fairbanks Jr., David O. Selznick, Cary Grant, Barbara Hutton, and Bobby Vinton. He then hired a passionate architect by the name of Harry Newman to lead the redesign of his Pacific Palisades
That was amazing.
home. He then set a very specific deadline to have the newly designed Mediterranean-style house prepared for his family to move in. This saw Newman and his team of 100 men scrambling to remove the scaffolding and get the fine piece of architecture ready for the Spielberg's arrival. Basically, all they were missing was a bus to park in front of the house so that when Steven got there, he could yell at them to move it. The house contained a Hobbit-themed room, and in 2013, Spielberg even added a vineyard to the property. All in all, the house is a success,
A vineyard?
and probably the most beautiful property the filmmaker owns. With that being said, the Pacific Palisades is not the only location where Steven Spielberg owns real estate. It is said that he possesses over $200 million worth of property within the United States. These include locations such as New York and Florida, and properties worth anywhere from $3.2 all the way up to $75 million. You know what they say, if there's a house available,
insane.
Spielberg finds a way. Martin Scorsese is one of the world's greatest film directors. He is known for such classics as Goodfellas, Casino, The Departed, and more recently, The Irishman.
Oh yeah, I really like The Irishman.
I guess he acquired his New York City townhouse by whacking the guy who had it before him. Then you remember that Martin Scorsese is a multi-millionaire. For a long time during his film career, he moved from place to place, living on location for whatever his latest film was. However, he also knew he would wind up in New York. It makes sense given his famous movie, The Rabbit of Bleecker Street, or something like that. He moved into a 4-story townhome in the Upper East Side for $12.5 million. The 7,000 square foot home contains 6 bedrooms, all for himself, his wife, and their daughter. I'm no math expert by any means, but I count at least 3 unused bedrooms, which tells me 2 things. 1, I should start checking Airbnb for the Scorsese home experience. Or 2, there are several spaces for Martin Scorsese to store his movie memorabilia. The house contains a bloodstained cheetah-skin rug, a Stratocaster guitar from The Last Waltz, and an overall design that evokes the Scorsese film The Age of Innocence. He has an unbelievable movie poster collection on display in every room and in every hall that would put mine to shame. Granted, they're $11 pieces of paper barely laminated, so I guess it didn't take much to put mine to shame. Today, Scorsese's home is said to be in a bit of financial trouble based on an $18,000 dispute from the renovations.
What?
If there's one thing Marty knows, it's how to succeed. Heck, he even was able to make Leo nearly win an Oscar.
It's funny, he's worth millions of dollars, but it's an $18,000 dispute. Like, oh, like, that's like nothing to him.
Oscar for teaching us to sell a pen. With the amount of money the films of James Cameron have made, the dude could buy
the alien
$1 mansion on Pandora if he really wanted. For a very long time, the number 1 and number 2 highest grossing movies of all time were Avatar and Titanic, both directed by Mr. James Cameron. Because of this, the blockbuster filmmaker has a net worth of $700 million.
What?
He's used this vast wealth to purchase several Malibu houses on the most celebrity-packed street possible in the country. In the 1980s, Cameron bought an 8,300 square foot home, and then in 2003, he purchased his neighboring 7,700 square foot property as well. Combined, the 2 properties have 11 bedrooms, 13 bathrooms, a guest house,
that looks
a
amazing.
guardhouse, 2 pools, 2 spas, a sports court, a gym, and a lounge.
So far, his property is my favorite.
The properties overlook Surfrider Beach, making the combined properties a dream home for literally anyone, no matter their bank account.
Oh yeah.
Houses on the same street have sold from $5 million to $10 million. Cameron also owns an over 700-acre property in California that he is currently selling for $25 million. Tim Burton is one of the most well-known whimsical directors who has been in the business for decades. The director of such films as Beetlejuice, Sweeney Todd, and Edward Scissorhands owns a London Eglin house. This home is worth $27 million, with a completely glass front, and contains a pool that pops into a screening room. The entire house is extremely artistic, which makes sense for one of the most distinctive stylistic filmmakers in Hollywood. The home is complete with a gorgeous spiral
Whoa, that's so trippy.
staircase and simply designed master bedroom and master bathroom. The home also serves as a creative space for Burton and is actually made of 2 separate buildings connected underground. Tim Burton purchased the house in 2016 just after hearing he'd be making some of that Disney money when he was sent down to direct the live adaptation of Dumbo. Needless to say, these creative auteurs live in extremely imaginative places. Burton, Cameron, and Spielberg are all in the top 10 highest grossing film directors of all time, while Spielberg sits at number 1 with his films grossing over $10.5 billion. That would buy a whole lot of Skywalker ranches.
Wow. That's pretty cool. I mean, I feel like with most mansions, it seems like they're kind of all the same, you know? You just have a bunch of money, whatever. But I like how theirs were very creative, and I mean, it just shows like the way they think of like their mindset of like how they create movies. They need to be very creative and be artistic at the same time. So I think it's pretty cool seeing those houses. I can't remember the director, the second one, but I really like his house where it has like all those different like props and posters and different like mannequins and whatnot. That's really cool. Like, and the fact he's only showed like 10% of it just makes me want to see more of it and see what else he has. So, but I really enjoyed that video. It was really good. And if you enjoyed this video, leave me a like, subscribe, and thank you very much.